Well, folks, it's Tuesday night. It's a little after 10, but guess what? It's the C3 podcast. That's right, Carolina Cat Chronicles is bringing you the latest takes on the Carolina Panthers from the fans' perspective. I am subbing tonight. I'm coming off the bench to go and step in as host of the show while Tony is living it up on the vacation of his dreams in Paris. By the way, if you have not seen pictures from their trip, I believe he's got them on Facebook, and it looks like they're having an absolute amazing time. I have my man, the best in the West, Mr. Aaron Ford, here joining me tonight. It's been a couple of weeks since he's been on, and we have missed him. And Aaron, go ahead and say hello to everybody.
Hey, Panther Nation, what's going on? I tell you, it's been 3 weeks since I've been on. I'm so excited to freaking be back. I'm in San Diego tonight. I was rushing from a business dinner. Somebody was trying to buy something from me, and I said, yo, save that stuff till tomorrow. I got to get over to the Cat Chronicles podcast. I got to catch up with my boy T Money. I got to catch up with the freaking Puerto Rican, and we got JP coming in here in just a little bit, the Pope, to balance us all. So it's Tuesday night, man. We're going to have a whole lot of fun. There's a lot of Panther stuff to talk about, believe it or not, and it's May 31st, and let's get it.
Yeah, that's
T
right.
Money.
Let's
T
get
Money.
it. T
What's
Money
going
has
on?
joined us, and let me tell you, it's been a minute since I've talked with him myself, but we are glad to have him on. Do us all a favor. For those who don't know who you are, go ahead and educate them as to where they can find your stuff, and let them know how you do it.
Alright, it's your boy Mr. T Money 1993, aka Straight Facts, man, because that's all I speak on this YouTube thing. YouTube is Mr. T Money 1993. The Twitter is T Muhammad 23. You can also follow me on the Cat Chronicles page, man. And I'm around. I've been hiding out in the off season though.
First of all, and I know T Money is a regular caller onto the Mac Attack in the mornings on WFNZ there in Charlotte. So he's really deep in his Panther knowledge and familiarity. Tonight's show obviously is going to be very Flintstones and basic in its production. We do, however, have good content, and I think that's what most people tune in for anyway. So we'll start with what's hot, I think, is our initial segment of the show. And I'll start with what I've seen out there on the interwebs. I saw Monday Morning Quarterback. Wasn't done by Peter King this week. It was actually done by a female reporter who spoke with Ron Rivera. And sort of was talking with him about what it takes to get back to a Super Bowl after losing it the prior season, and no team has done this in 23 years. Think about that, 23 years. I think it was the Buffalo Bills were the last team to lose a Super Bowl and get back to one.
And they obviously lost it when they got back.
Yes, unfortunately for them. That was a really super dynamic, fantastic team too. It's a shame they were never able to win one.
Yeah, for sure.
Very talented.
For sure.
Reading the article made me ask, just how good is Ron Rivera? USA Today ranked Ron Rivera as the 8th best coach in the NFL. As a side note, he is 8th. As a side note, he's ranked below two coaches he beat down, butt kicking. I'm talking serious stompage. Pete Carroll and Bruce Arians are rated higher than him. Just saying.
I think Sean Payton too was. Sean Payton was in the top 5, I think.
Wow, that's typical for people's perspective of the Panthers.
So let me get this straight. You can have one of the very best quarterbacks in the world in Drew Brees. Mm-hmm. You can oversee Bountygate get suspended for an entire year, proceed to have your team completely suck, and then get ranked above Ron Rivera?
Yes.
Okay. Just so long as we're straight.
Right, exactly. That's how I felt about the thing, but it's typical. We know this. We're Panther fans. We're people who spent time in or go to Charlotte. We know that everyone underappreciates Charlotte and the Panthers organization, so why should it be any different with the coach, right? It's a shame. It really is because Ron Rivera has done so much with so little often. I believe we have underappreciated as fans, too. We've underappreciated just how good he is. His best coaching attribute, I think, is the ability he has to motivate his players despite whatever they have going on with the team.
Well, I got to tell you, what I love about Ron Rivera is you watched him in his first couple of years, and it was frustrating, man, because he would mess up the time management at the end of games, he would mess up timeouts. But you know what? Kudos to the big cat, Mr. Richardson, for not just doing the knee-jerk reaction, firing the guy. He gave him time, and now, man, the guy knows his stuff. His time management is impeccable. His player relations are impeccable. He's moved into the locker room. He's an integral part of what's going on there. He's grown just like the franchise has grown. So,
right, and you've touched on this before, Aaron.
Yeah.
You touched on that very same thing, how Mr. Richardson gave him a chance despite some early struggles, realizing that, hey, it's not the coaching, it's our personnel.
It's personnel.
It's personnel. It's the salary cap situation. There were so many other reasons that the team was struggling. It was not the coach. And there again, I go back to Rivera's ability to motivate his players. He's able to get the most out of the guys he has on the team. Yeah. Now, early on, the guys were not able to give that much because they weren't as talented. Once he got some talent and could really showcase players' abilities, he was able to get that out of them. I think he. Look at
the beginning.
Go ahead.
He was dealing with a flawed roster at the beginning too. I mean, you got to remember, Herney could only draft in the first round.
Right. Anybody after that, it was a crapshoot. You weren't sure how long they'd be around or if they'd even make the team.
Hey guys, let me give a shout out to Twitter, right? Because this podcast really is all about fan interaction, the voice of Panther Nation, the voice of being a Panther fan. A couple folks out there, Christina, she says eighth place for Ron Rivera is, quote, ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And then Legacy Line says, in my opinion, Ron Rivera needs to be harder on our offensive coordinator.
Okay. I would agree with both of those statements. I think it's a shocking fact that he's eighth, with as good as he's done with the team he has, and I think he could be harder on
Mike Shula.
Yeah. He could certainly be harder on him and demand him to, do some things differently.
Heck yeah. So the point is, C3 Girl Gang knows their stuff, no doubt about it. Anybody else out there on Twitter, join in the conversation. Use hashtag C3. We'll talk about it tonight. We are Flintstone version tonight. All the sound effects, all the good fun music in the background. Well, that kind of went wayside when the professor decided to go hang out with the producer decided to go hang out with the wee crowd in Paris and drink all that wine and eat all that cheese. Hey, we're stuck here doing all his work for him. That's fine. I hope you're having fun, Professor. We'll get you back here in a few weeks. But, hey, we're still all about the hashtag C3. Yeah,
we're going to roll with it. That's it. That's all we can do, right?
That's it.
Roll with it. So, yeah, we look at him and the ability to get so much out of the players he had early in his career as far as talent level goes. And then last year, you see what he's able to do with good talent. I mean, we had an epic, legendary type season. You know, think of how many people have been fans of teams that were never able to see their team go 15-1, have yet to see their team go 15-1. That's a really big deal. So he's
So
been a wonderful.
T Money over there was like one win away from an $8,000 payday from his little $200 he put up at the end of the year. So 15-1 don't mean quite as much as winning a big game, but maybe this year, right, T Money?
Hey,
Yeah.
you won't get the same odds this year, unfortunately.
No, that's right.
But it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Rivera has been a wonderful addition to the organization. I think this season will be his biggest test. You know, we experienced success. We got a taste of the good life, so to speak. Now he has to make sure these guys understand that, you know, the season is a progression from the very first step to the last. It's from starting at 1 and going to 10. And, you know, after the success we had last season, guys naturally have a tendency to want to start at like 5 or 6.
Right.
But it's not like that. Every season is its own entity, and you have to start it from the beginning. And he's got to make sure the guys understand that. So I'm really excited about seeing what he's able to do with the players this year, getting his team driven enough, having the desire, the fire like they did last year to get them back to the Super Bowl is going to be the ultimate test. The good thing, they didn't win it. So kind of left them feeling, I guess, half empty. And that should serve as a big motivator to finish what they weren't able to last year. What do you think, T-Money? You think it's going to be tough for him as a coach to get those guys jacked so they can get to the big one again?
I don't think so, because it's not only about him. I mean, I feel like he's got a good coaching staff, and I feel like he's got a good group of leaders who's not going to let anybody, you know, sit back and take it easy or think that they're better than what they are. I mean, with Cam and Luke and Thomas Davis and them guys and Khalil and Osa, I don't think they're going to allow that. And you can even see it from Ron right now. I know I read earlier he threatened to start practice all the way over because Cam Newton's cadence was getting the defensive line to jump in practice today. So pretty much he went off on them and threatened to start the whole practice over if they didn't get it together.
Nice. I like it.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. I read something about that too today, where Tony Ely was one of the guys guilty of succumbing to Cam's hard count, and that's sticking it to you guys when, you know, there's like 15 minutes left in practice and you're like, you guys better get it together or else we're starting all over. That'll piss some people off. So it's a good thing they were able to get shored up and, you know, finish strong. I'm glad to hear that they didn't have to start practice over.
Well, hey, here's a quick side note question I want to throw out there. I want to hear T-Money's opinion. How do you feel about our team now stacked up compared to the prospects from a year ago? And when I'm saying that, yes, we got Kelvin Benjamin coming back. So that offense looks a little bit better, or a whole lot better. On the defensive side, however, how do you feel? You got 3 rookies in the secondary coming in when we're losing an all-pro in the secondary and we're losing our starting defensive end. So we're losing Jared Allen, we're losing Josh Norman. If we were going into the Super Bowl last year and we said, hey, we don't have Jared Allen, we don't have Josh Norman, but we got 3 rookies to come in the secondary, we would have been panicking at that point. How do you feel, T-Money, going into this year in that situation?
Honestly, I mean, no disrespect to him, I feel like losing Jared Allen is a plus, actually. I feel like for the longest, I wanted Cody Ealy to start. Really, and I said it a couple of times, I wanted Cody Ealy on one side, Charles Johnson on the other, and Jared Allen to be that 3rd or 4th guy. I felt like he would have been better to me with less snaps instead of you trying to start him. and I don't think the pass rush wasn't there. Honestly, as good as we were on defense, I think our defensive line is going to be better this year.
Vernon Butler, big addition.
Yeah,
Big man.
and besides that, I mean, Charles being healthy this year. I mean, people will probably forget, but Charles only had 1 sack during the regular season all last year.
Yeah.
Even if he's not old Charles Johnson, I don't think he's going to be that bad. There's no way you can tell me he's that bad. And then I liked Coney when he was starting, but Coney's problem then is the same problem he's having now, jumping off sides, and that earned him his ticket on the bench last year when he was playing well. Other than that, the secondary, man, I feel like we'll be all right. First of all, I think Trey Boston starting as an other safety over Roman Harper will help the corners because now you're not having to depend on, hey, if a receiver gets back to Roman, they're going to leave him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's what it was 9 times out of 10. So I think 2 safeties with range will help the young guys. And I believe, if you look at our schedule, I believe our schedule helps the young guys. Because I think in our first 4, we play Mark Sanchez, Blaine Gabbert, Eddie Bridgewater, and Matt Ryan.
Ooh.
So I feel like that's going to help them.
Good insight. Yeah.
It's going to help them get used to being on the field playing quarterbacks that, in my opinion, is not the best.
They're not elite.
Yeah.
Hey,
They're not
Panther
elite
Nation,
quarterbacks.
Panther Nation, we have been joined by the Pope. JP, what is up, my man?
Hey, JP. Great to have you on the show. I don't know if you've ever met Muhammad, Mr. T Money, 1993.
Yeah, we've talked back and forth before.
Okay.
We've gotten to several arguments with some Saints fans and some Falcons fans.
Nice. Yeah, that's the T Money I know, all right. We were just talking about Monday morning quarterback article that I saw this past week. I talked with Ron Rivera about him and his coaching and getting the team back to the Super Bowl after losing the big one, how it's been 23 years since that's happened. In the article, excuse me, I'm fighting pneumonia again. So if I'm coughing and sound congested, I apologize.
Playing injured.
Yeah, that's right. I also wanted, in the article they said USA Today ranked NFL coaches and Ron Rivera came in 8th.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I was listening. I was actually listening while I wasn't able to join in. Something went wrong. There's very few coaches I put ahead of Ron Rivera. Right. And it's not even the idea of being a homer. It's, he's led 3 successful in a row campaigns to an NFC South championship.
Never been done before.
They've
never been done before.
Gotten further within the playoffs. We can't say we improved, 2 years ago with our losing record, but still making the playoffs. But still improving how far you go in the playoffs is big. Really, the only one that I could for sure put in front of him is Bill Belichick.
Agreed.
For whatever they do, whatever they're accused of, he is still a great coach. But you're talking about a guy who's been coaching for 40 years. He's been coaching since Rivera's been playing.
Right.
So
is it true he's Darth Vader's identical twin? Is that true?
I couldn't get that.
I said, is it true that is he Darth Vader's identical twin?
Probably.
Bill Belichick, yeah.
He never smiles or anything. But what I think is the best part about Rivera, and I actually think I put an article out about it, that he can allow the egos on the team and the what the players really want to do flow without it getting too uncontrollable. We saw Cam Newton be what Cam Newton wanted to be. We saw, Josh Norman jaw off at so many people, which a lot of coaches would stop that. But he understands that that's what makes these players so good.
You got to be who they are.
Ability. Yeah. But he also understands you have to let that stay on the field. You know, Cam Newton and Josh Norman fighting, as much as everybody's like, oh, my God, what happened, blah, 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 it stayed on the field. They were fine once they went back to the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
They played against each other, and if you're trying to beat Cam Newton, you're his enemy, and if you're trying to beat Josh Norman, you're his enemy. They treated each other as such, and they're fierce competitors. Things like that happen, and he was able to control, a pretty critical situation that two star players on your team and quote-unquote leaders on your team would get into a fist fight. But he was able to control that and actually have them rally around something like that. And I think that's what makes him a great coach, more than anything.
Great point. Great point.
But I also agree that he needs to be harder on Shula.
Yeah.
Because Shula, and I think that Shula should give Cam more of the audibles. That's just my personal opinion. I think Cam should call probably 90% of plays at the line.
You think Cam should be able to call whatever play he sees that would work well against the defense?
I think that's what, if you watch them a lot of times, as far as I realize and notice, they really give Cam 3 plays and Cam chooses the best one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shula's offense is one of the best offenses in the game. It's predicated and based around his father's, which we all know his father was a great coach. When it comes to diversity and everything, that's great. But we also have to remember the things that the Panthers were lacking last year was, we had one deep threat, and he was a 50-50 catch guy.
Yeah.
And they lacked, everybody always wants to fight and yell for the screenplays, which work, but not when Fozzie Whitaker is the one catching him.
Right.
There's
I agree with the personnel. I think he probably had to cut part of the playbook out because first of all, Ted Ginn's not running precise enough routes to run a lot of short, accurate passes that when people say, "Oh, we want Cam's completion percentage to go up," Ted Ginn's not running routes like that. You want Ted Ginn going deep. You want him running routes where his speed is going to scare somebody, even if it's like a comeback route or a slant route, something like that. He's not running. Ted Ginn's not running Julian Edelman route.
No. Right. He's going deep, or he's going, all his routes are going to be like 15 yards or more. He's not running any short across the middle.
No, he's a go deep kind of guy.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
And actually, guys,
hold your breath.
You make a good point when you talk about, the lack of receivers, because getting a guy open is just as much dependent on what the other receivers route they're running as it is the guy who is running his own route. You got to make the defense think about more than just the one guy. So if another guy is not running precise routes, that's going to affect the play, and you're not going to get, as much of a window as you might if the guy's running a good route. That definitely comes into play too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to this coming season because the reports out. Black and Blue Review reported today, and T-Money, I think you turned me on to this. That Devin Funchess looked like the best wide receiver on the field here the last couple of days.
Which he knows I'm a big Funchess fan, man. I think him and Kelvin on the outside, which I think that's what they should do. I've seen articles saying maybe they're going to move him to something sort of like a tight end. I'm like,
that's just what I was getting ready to go to next. I was getting ready to say that I saw an article that said moving Funchess to tight end in the near future, ? He does have some experience at the position, having played it on the college level. So it's not like he's never been lined up as a tight end. He would certainly need to bulk up, first of all. But honestly, we have like 37 tight ends in camp right now.
And we already tried that. We already tried that experiment. We already tried to remember we did it with Mucus.
Lucas, that's right. You're right. You're right. Actually, I think we're still doing that, aren't we? Aren't we still in the process?
They just signed him back, but he's done bulked up. I think they said he's like 250 now.
Right. He put on like 20 pounds of muscle or something like that.
So think about it, man. You got Kelvin Benjamin on one side, Funchess picking up his game, being even better this year on the other side, and then you got Ginn or Bird or Garrett on the inside. Now, Cam Newton's going to have a whole full chest of toys to play with this year, and we were the #1 offense last year. Think about that, guys. Well, we're going to be even better. We're going to be even better than we were on offense. My question is, how fast does that secondary come together? That secondary comes together, and if Ely continues his play from the Super Bowl, lights out, brother.
And another big thing, a lot of people aren't thinking about, count on Johnson to be healthy 2 years in a row.
Say that again?
Can we count on Jonathan Stewart to be healthy 2 years in a row?
Oh, you're right. That's a huge question mark.
Hey, who was saying, who did Black and Blue Review say was the best looking running back on the field the last couple of days?
Wager?
We all get off that Brandon Wager thing. Like.
Hey, he's extremely likable. He really is.
Stop. Wager time.
Y'all do it every year. Y'all find that one person.
Hey, check this out. Just to back you up, T-Money, the very first Draft Tech mock draft is coming out later this week. I'll give everybody a sneak preview. Draft Tech will get pissed for me saying this, but my #1 pick, running back out of Stanford. The complete running back. Yep.
Christian
complete.
Christian McCaffrey?
Christian McCaffrey, yes, sir.
Wow.
3,496 all-purpose yards, shattering Barry Sanders' record.
And I got one name for you. Danny Woodhead.
Exactly. Wow, that's a great comparison, T-Money.
Yeah.
Great comparison.
I have another name. I got another name for you.
Okay.
Marshall Faulk.
Oh my! We're gonna have to agree to disagree on that one.
I'm telling you,
Marshall
man.
Faulk. Are you trying to say Christian McCaffrey is going to be Marshall Faulk?
Brian Westbrook. Yes, sir. The dude can catch out of the backfield.
Yeah, Westbrook maybe. I would say that's possible.
Westbrook was dope, man. People forget about it.
Yeah, he was. And tell me another player that went 100 and 100 in the Rose Bowl. 100 yards receiving, 100 yards rushing.
I'm gonna tell you another running back out of Stanford that everybody said was so good. Toby Gerhardt.
Yeah, good point.
This guy's a little different animal than Gerhardt.
He is.
I'm trying to pull up the guy's name. For some reason his name slipped my head, but he put up the 225 bench press over 100 times just to show that he could.
Excuse me?
What?
Yeah.
Over 100 times. 100 times?
100 times.
No.
Just to prove good. I'm trying to find his name. He's a major college running back, too.
Steroid Cheerios?
100 times in what, reps of 10?
No,
And
225.
over a week?
No way.
It's Samjay Prani out of Oklahoma.
Who?
Samjay Prani out of Oklahoma. I think that's how you say it.
I'm going to look him up. 225, 100.
Dude, if you're doing that, you're a strong dude.
The most I've ever seen was 50 reps. 51 reps. And that was by that Paella guy that went to Chicago.
In fact, the person whose quote this is by, and this is the exact quote, I haven't pulled up, is he did 100 reps at 225 with ease, and that's when I knew he was the strongest dude that I've ever seen in my life. Quoted quarterback Zach Sanchez. That's my guy.
Oh.
He ain't going to the NFL. He's doing bodybuilding.
Yeah, he's going to WWE.
He's going to MMA.
He is a freak.
But tell me what you don't like about a guy who is a sophomore that beats Barry Sanders' all-purpose records. He's got a 75-yard
That's what I don't like about it.
What's wrong with you?
This is my one question for you. This is my one question for you.
How much small toes weigh?
What defender in the NFL that's a skill position guy came out of the Pac-12, Pac-10, whatever you want to call it, besides Richard Sherman. And that was on accident because they thought he was a receiver. Just saying, like it's not like it's a whole bunch of defense.
No, not valid point. But I'm telling you, this dude, a sophomore, lighting it up on all three phases of the game: special teams, receiving, rushing. The dude is an
I could see Christian McCaffrey being very good in the NFL.
In the right system.
I can't see lead back.
No.
Because I think that he's going to get too beat up at his size. Because 200 pounds really isn't all that big. You know? And
not at all.
I also don't think that he's the...
189 is not really that big for a wide receiver at 5'8". You know, I mean, a little guy to Utah.
Yeah, but we're talking about
right?
Steve Smith, who's got the attitude of a man at 6'6", 350. Whereas McCaffrey,
don't count McCaffrey short.
And not only that, as great as Smitty is as a Panther, let's not act like we haven't seen Smitty get killed.
Yeah.
I mean, and you haven't seen him kill people so bad. But he killed people so bad that we actually have a segment on the show called Ice Up Son after the man.
But I'm saying you don't remember the broken arm touchdown he had versus the Giants?
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, we see
I like McCaffrey personally. I think he's super talented and a fabulous, awesome college player. But the NFL is so different. It's so different. It's way more physically demanding, and the guys play with a lot of malicious intent, I'll say.
I think he'll be a system guy. I think if you put him with Brady and them, I think he'll be a star. I think we run too much power football.
Yes.
Have McCaffrey as your lead back in Carolina.
Yeah. That's my idea. I think he'll be good, but I think that our system doesn't.
All right. So
necessarily.
We need a Jonathan Stewart copy.
That's why I think the best fit for us out of next year's class would be, I mean, you want a Jonathan Stewart copy, let's go height, let's go weight, let's go school, let's go Royce Freeman. I mean, he's the size, he's got he's got better footwork, he's got a healthier past, and I mean, he's got the stats.
I wanted Derrick Henry. So I hear you, man. You clone it. But I'm telling you, think about this right now. Right now, you got Jonathan Stewart, who is the bulldozer. He comes off the field when it's time for receiving, and they put in Fozzie Whitaker. Right? He's that third down receiving back. McCaffrey can do it both. Now, granted, he's a little light in the loafers. I think he can put on some weight. And I think you still got other backs that you can bring in to complement him, such as Whitaker.
I think he has a type of frame of he can gain weight and keep his speed. Because some guys can't do that. Some guys
can't. That's true. But I'll tell you, a sophomore that beats Barry Sanders' record is worthy of a number 30 or preferably number 32 draft pick.
I definitely think he's talented. There's no question. I just don't think he is our guy. You know, he's not what we need. Even, you know, as a third down back, perhaps. Kick returner, perhaps. But to be that bell cow guy, he's not a fit for us.
But yeah, that goes back to, do you trust Stewart? Because Fozzie already showed us in the Atlanta game and in the Super Bowl, he can't pass block at all.
No.
And that's what separates Jonathan Stewart from a lot of other running backs. Because our whole thing is when we was max protecting, even in the Super Bowl, we still couldn't block Von Miller because Fozzie couldn't block.
Right.
Right.
No disrespect to Cap, but to me, he's the Brandon Weeden of running back. Because you drafted a running back, a 25-year-old rookie. How many years does he really have left?
Right.
One, I do like that one. I will give you that. That's a very funny analogy. Cap's a compliment. He's never going to be, superstar amazing. And I don't see it in him. I don't think that the coaches really see it in him. there was a clear mistrust in him, and the idea that he wasn't even active for the Super Bowl.
Right.
And you're not saying, you're not sitting here saying, oh, wow, he was bumped for a great guy. He was bumped for Fozzie Whitaker, who really isn't that good. And I would be shocked if Fozzie Whitaker made the team this year.
Really?
I'm working on an article now about some of the running backs and where I think people fit. Really, the only running back that I'm all excited for is Devin Johnson.
Let me take a moment here and JP say thank you, because you are a football processing writing machine. You really are. I like football. I love football. Okay? But you take it to a whole nother level, brother. I mean, you really do, and it's impressive, man.
I was talking to his girl. I was talking to his girlfriend the other day, and she said the only thing that she doesn't love about the Pope is the fact that she can wake up in the middle of the night and the dude's over there in the corner playing tape, rewinding, watching how that guard for that third level college is actually getting out to the second level, and he's writing down his nose. So, yeah. So,
that man.
That's all right, man. That's why we love you, Pope.
That's exactly right. We really do appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
Sure.
I'm excited about Devin Johnson. I think he might take the Weger route this year, where he's going to be inactive a lot. But I think we found the heir apparent to Mike Tolbert, and I finally figured out why Ward wasn't a fit for us. He's an off-the-ball type player, whereas a guy like Devin Johnson, 1,700 yards is, 1,700 yards and 18 touchdowns in a year isn't, anything to joke around about. He's a pure power guy, and the guy's nickname is Rockhead because he knocked somebody out.
Yeah,
he knocked a man out on the football field.
But that's what I say when I say some of y'all fall in love with players every year. Cause oh my God, y'all talking about Ward last year. Oh, Ward is it? Greatest fullback ever since Mike Allstott. I mean, that's the way I feel about Wager too. Like I'm just tired of talking about it.
Well, we are fans, and we're guilty as charged. We see a guy come in and do some things differently and maybe be better at something than another guy we have currently. Yeah. So we go goo-goo gaga all over him.
Plus, we all know the professor and Tober have some issues. I don't know why. like the coach here, I don't know.
You're right. He's not the biggest Tolbert fan. Just like Tolbert's mom isn't the biggest Professor fan.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the days when Tolbert's mom and the Professor were in elementary school together.
Right, I think so. Yeah. It might just.
But this year, who's the young guy you're excited about this year, guys?
Go ahead, Team Money. You go first.
Guess it's kind of obvious, but I'm excited about Garrett.
Yep.
Once we finally get the training camp.
That's the guy. Isn't he the guy? He's the guy that last year it was Damiere Byrd. Everybody, including myself, wanted to see Byrd come in and light it up and make the team. This year it's Garrett. Now I hope Byrd makes the team too. But I would love.
See, that's another person that I wasn't on. I wasn't on the first wagon. Bird's like 5'5", 150 pounds, like.
Right.
Dude, no.
Yeah, he's got.
He gained 8 pounds, so I think he's like 158.
All right, JP. What about you? Who's got you excited as a new Panther?
I'm excited about Byrd. I want to see what he could do, but I have limited expectations of what somebody with his body weight and height can do. If anything, and this goes to what I've been kind of defending. If anything, he's still coming in as a 5th option guy. He's gonna get some runs. He's gonna get some deep draws, and that's about it. But I'm on Devin Johnson and Kearis Garrett. I think Johnson, who again I think is gonna ride the inactive list a lot this year, but I do think he's very talented, and I do think that he can I mean, again, I'm not a big Tolbert fan either, and I think this guy's going to be a stronger, bigger blocker. But the guy that I think can make an impact this year is definitely Kieris Garrett. He caught 97 of 99 catchable passes his way last year.
Right.
That's great. You know, even if he just takes over the possession role at first, third downs, you know, the idea that most undrafted rookies don't have an obvious reason to be on the field. Somebody that catches passes like that, they do. And everybody's going to say what conference he came from, and I get that, but he's the most productive single-season wide receiver out of that conference. The second most productive was Antonio Brown.
Wow.
You can say that. Say that until you watch him. Go watch him versus Zach Sanchez, and then
he blew Sanchez up.
He's killing Sanchez, man. When I watched it,
I thought he was going to get arrested, man.
But that's also something I always like to touch on is obviously Zach Sanchez we've seen is not an outside corner.
Right.
He is the obvious slot guy. But Kieris Garrett knows how to use his body. And that's why he was able to blow up Zach Sanchez, because he's not the fastest. I mean, we're not talking about Damiere Byrd's speed. We're talking about a guy who's, 6'3", 220, 6'4", 220.
He's Muhammad size, right? Musin Muhammad size?
He is Musin Muhammad 2.0.
I seen an article today saying that if Musin was in this receiving core, he would be considered a small receiver.
Wow.
I always like to say, remember, and I can actually only think of 3 wide receivers from that year, probably because there was only one worth mentioning, but 2 other ones on there. Remember when we had a size problem back when it was Ginn, Smith, and LaFale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when it was like, wow, the Panthers need to get some size at wide receiver. Now it's like you got 6'6" Benjamin, 6'4" Funches, you got Greg Olsen in there, we got so much size now, and it's
Stephen
guys
Hill.
like that, guys who are open when covered. What do you do?
Right.
How do you stop multiple guys like that on the field at once? Plus, then, you hang too many guys deep. Cam Newton's going to rip off a 15, 20-yard run.
Right. He's going to kill you with his legs if you take away his arm. Mentioning those 3.
That's Florida, y'all. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Timoni.
This is a random thing to throw out there. Has Cam gotten Florida, y'all?
No, I think he's gotten smarter.
I think that's a good word. Smarter.
He knows he doesn't need to run too fast, and when you run too fast, and there's a difference between speed and football speed. A lot of guys play slower than what they are, and he's understood that him playing slower is playing smarter, because if he's running full speed, he can't make those larger cuts he makes. He's not fast. He's not small enough to make, super quick cuts. So you see the slower cuts, and if you're running as fast as you can, you're going to tumble over your own body weight. And I think he's gotten smarter with that. And also just in the times that he runs, he's gotten a lot smarter. But
not only that,
slower football speed, yes. Athletically, no.
When you're running full speed, when you're going all out full speed, your field shrinks, so you're not able to see potential big hits coming at you. When you're running like 3/4 or 80%, the field gets bigger. You're able to see guys who might be able to take your head off if you're not seeing them. You can get down and protect yourself. And I think that's the difference in Cam. I wanted to touch on what you said, JP, about the 3 little receivers. Aaron, I know you're old enough to remember the 3 amigos from DC. Ricky Sanders and the 2 other guys, their names escaped me, but they were there when Doug Williams was there. The 3 amigos.
Art Monk was one of them, wasn't he?
Yeah. So we had them, but now we've got an NBA front court in our receiver core.
That's right.
So we went from pygmies to giants. But yes, we do have a big core. We got Garrett, or is it Garris? Garrett. We've got Funches. We've got KB, and then Greg Olsen too. He's a
And
big dude.
Hill makes the roster this year.
Yeah, don't forget about Stephen Hill.
Yeah, so we've got some
and-
size, we've got some speed. We're going to be very dangerous at the receiver position. Where last year we didn't have the
I want to ask you
threat.
guys real quick. I want to ask you guys, if you're the GM, who makes the team between Key Garrett
Mhm.
and Brenton Burson?
Do I have
Kearis
to
Garrett.
answer? Do I have
Team-
to answer?
I know.
T-Money.
We know T-Money's
T-Money.
answer.
Answer? I put Sunshine off the team for about 3 years.
Years at least.
He has done nothing, but he has not dropped a single ball this year. I think he's not even dropped a bar of soap in OTAs.
Ooh, Burson?
JP, what you think, man? Who you
I'm
taking into
taking
that?
Kearis Garrett. One, we know what Burson's going to do. We understand he's got good hands and he's going to be a seam runner. But what he had, like 114 yards last year.
So
You
who
know-
do you? So here's the real question. I agree with you. Who do you think Gettleman's going to take?
I think Gettleman is. I understand the honor that Brenton Burson has and how everybody's going to like his work ethic. But at the end of the day, if you're putting together a 53-man roster to win, Kearis Garrett is going to be the selection.
The only reason why he named him is because sadly you can put Garrett on the practice squad, and Brenton Burson has been there too long to put him on the practice squad. I'm sure that's what their excuse would be.
I think somebody
If
takes
Kearis
Garrett.
Garrett hits the practice squad, he is gone.
Yeah, somebody
And
takes.
people need to understand that. Somebody will sign Kearis Garrett.
I seen somebody trying to make an article saying that Garrett has been so underperforming that he could probably make it to the practice squad without getting signed. I don't know. I'm so tired. I feel like any of us can go out there right now and run faster than Brenton Burson. Oh my God. I understand, it's about who you know rather than your talent sometimes, but
Well, what you give Burson his due, he runs, he's where he's supposed to be. And he does have true hands. He is not a spectacular athlete, but he is going to be where Cam thinks he's supposed to be. And there's something to be said about somebody who you can depend on. To be steady, not spectacular, but your sixth wide receiver, you're not looking for spectacular.
Can I interject something here too?
Yeah.
Obviously the Sunshine family is friends of the Big Cats family. And if you're on an NFL roster for 4 seasons or more, you qualify for their pension plan.
Mm-hmm.
And so if Sunshine is able to stay on the team for 4 seasons, he would thus qualify for the pension plan. And maybe, Jerry's doing him a favor in that regard too.
how long has he been here?
He's been here 3 or 4 years.
27 years, it seems like.
He does.
Like in 27 years, he's been the same speed.
Yeah.
In
Right.
two
Right.
active seasons, one on the practice squad, so 3 years, 2
Believe me,
active seasons.
I wanted Bird over him last year. Me
Yeah.
personally.
And I don't think it comes down to Kearis Garrett versus Brenton Burson. I think Kearis Garrett's more. I'm obviously not saying he's a lock, but I think he's more locked in than a Bird or a Burson. So I think the last spot comes down to either them or Hill.
Yes, I think it is a 3-man race.
It's a 3-man race between Hill, Burson, and Bird, which they said Hill has been looking good in his hands.
Good,
He's
right.
better than last year.
He was doing some punt return work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so returning can sometimes get you a bit more of a roster spot than
Because your versatility. The
because
more versatile you are, the better.
we see Burson look like the Bad News Bears trying to punt return. So
I was just about to say that. But
All right, here we go. I want to touch on a couple of things before we go to those ice up picks. We got about 7 minutes left or so. Kenwan Short and the Panthers have paused negotiations. Now, I don't think there was any animosity amongst
Right.
in this pause. I think they just wanted to kind of step back and let Short kind of focus on these OTAs and the training and getting in there, getting reps, working with the younger guys. So that's my thought on that. What do you guys think about the Cardinals? We're gonna get this deal done, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm not worried about that, especially because he does have until even next year to get it done. So I'm not that worried about it. I think Kawan Short definitely realized he wants to be here. He's coming to his own. He can have 2 great years of being an All-Pro.
Yeah, I don't think Kawan wants to go anywhere. Why would you leave a team that's obviously willing to pay you because of what's valued at the pass rushing D tackle position? Kawan's gonna stay. He knows where his bread is buttered. He's a leader on this team. They love him. Why would you not want to play with the added protection that guys like Kuechly and Davis and Thompson provide? It's and obviously Starr being there, and now the excitement of Vernon Butler, who I forget who reported it, but they said that he may be the most explosive D lineman on this team, which is great to hear. And
Kawan Short said he was more explosive than he was as a rookie.
And I would like to say I still have my regrets for changing my pick 3 days before the draft because I originally had Butler and then I went back to Henry.
You did.
I said Butler.
You got jealous. You got jealous because I was taking Henry to the prom.
Exactly, and I got jealous and I backed out. But
you did.
Let me say this: there's pausing and delaying. The longer we delay the Short contract, is there a potential for him to have another fantastic season and the price to go up?
Well, here's my
top 5 defensive tackles anyway. In my opinion, I think
here's my problem. If you were to take exactly, if somebody had written down exactly what you guys said, but changed it to phrase around a cornerback, why would somebody want to leave the great defense that's in front of them, the front 7 that you have? He wants to be here. He's a leader on the team. He's better because of the system that he's in, et cetera, et cetera. That's what we were saying. Guys, that's what we were saying a month ago about one Josh Norman. We did not see that coming. And I think Short will stay. And, it's easy now to look back and say, well, the priority's not in his back 7, so we weren't going to pay him anyway. But we all thought Josh Norman was staying. We really did. We thought it was going to get done, and it didn't.
Norman, though, he played himself, though. He had a bad agent.
That's my point. That's my point.
I agree with that.
Know Short's agent. We don't know Short's agent. What if Short's agent says, you know what, 11 sacks as a defensive tackle, the guy needs to be paid like Ndamukong Suh. We need $20 million a year. What if his agent comes out and says that?
Gettleman already has off the bat of Shorts only did it one year. He went from what, 2.5 sacks to 5 to 11.
Yeah. So, but if his agent is demanding Suh money, he will say, you know what, I got Vernon Butler. I'm not too worried about it.
I don't think nobody's getting Suh money. Suh not even getting Suh money. They renegotiated it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So even they really don't.
I don't think
the agent is the wild card. The agent is the wild card here.
I don't think Kawan Short plays this season without a new contract.
I hope you're right.
I think that when they said that the contract talks are on hold, I don't think that was we'll revisit this next year type hold. Gettleman wants to.
Luke still got done in September.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Dave Gettleman had mentioned a 4-letter word that every team has or every team wants that he would like to add Kawan Short to, and that's the core.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And he's worthy of it. I think that him and Starr, I would love to see Starr stay. I think Starr is at a higher chance of leaving, though.
I think so, too.
I don't think that his foot is as healthy as he plays off, and I think he's lost a step because of it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree 100%. I've been saying if any one of them leaves, because you could always say, hey, Vernon can do what he can do what Star does, and he pass rushes, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think Star is the unsafe one. I think Short will be a Panther for life. And I have no doubt in my mind that because of the fact of how valued that position is down there in Carolina, is that he will be. And if they can't reach the salary he wants, he will definitely get the incentives based on it.
Mm-hmm. Plus, right now we got $30 million left, and there's no free agents left. I mean, what are we saving it for?
Right.
We have
for
to
this.
spend it.
We're saving it for him.
Cromartie's
We
children.
really are. So we're gonna pay him. I think he's gonna get paid. I think the sooner we do it, the better for the team as a whole. It's 11 o'clock. I want to touch on one more thing, and then we'll get to the ice up picks. When coming back from a major injury, I think there's a natural hesitancy about going full speed with whatever that particular injury, or you're recovering from the injury. Regarding our guy, KB, I imagine this to be the same. He has the same concerns. He did, however, recently address this very issue. He's not yet a full participant in practices, but he is able to do some other drills and participate in some individual drills. And he has said that in those drills he is going full speed. He's trying not to baby his knee. But I think with time, and there's going to be some time before he really is able to fully 100% trust the knee. But when he does get to that point, I think the NFL is going to be in for a more focused and a more hungry. He's hungrier, KB, since he missed so much. He missed all last year in that fantastic Super Bowl run we had. So when he comes back, I think he's going to go off. What about you? You guys think the same thing, that there's a little bit of a getting comfortable stage with your recovered injury before you can get back out there and go all out?
I think that he's limited by his conditioning, but I think he's actually very comfortable in his knee. He wouldn't be making those cuts if not. There's times where he's hopping on one knee. I think he's very comfortable in it, and I don't think the ACL is the injury that it used to be. Including I have a buddy who I was hanging out with the other day. He tore his ACL 6 months ago, and he's fine. He's back to work and everything.
Wow.
And I trained with a kid who's torn his ACL twice. It's not the same injury it was. You actually come back stronger, since now instead of retying the ACL like a rubber band, they actually just replace it. So you don't have that break in it anymore. They take a donor one. So I think that the trust is more in his conditioning and trying to limit that, because he needs to get the overall leg strength up. But the ACL will be fine. We've seen Gurley do it. We've seen Gronk do it. And we've seen AP do it. There's no reason to think that Kelvin Benjamin won't be all of the player he was, if not more, with the growth and development and the maturity that brought to him.
And not only that, but Cam Newton's a better quarterback now than KB's rookie year, right?
No doubt. He learned how to spread the ball around.
That's right. He's able to make better decisions. He's more confident in the guys around him, and he's got full confidence in KB. So I'm excited about next year. There's been a lot of questions as to whether or not this offense can put up this similar numbers to what it did last year. And I don't expect us to go 15-1 again, but I'm expecting a very successful season.
I think that fear with the ACL injury comes from guys that got tackled and their knee bent the wrong way. I don't think that Kelvin has a fear of taking a forward step, which is how it happened. The non-contact ones are normally a lot less severe because he just tore his ACL. He didn't mess up his MCL, his LCL, his meniscus.
Right.
There was no bone fragments. It was a clean-cut injury. He's not going to be afraid to take a hit because he remembers taking a hit and getting hurt. It's going to be, oh, is this guy afraid to take a deep cut? No, because we've clearly already seen him take a deep cut. Kelvin's got the right mindset, and he came back, and he's going to come back stronger than ever.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that. I know all of Panther Nation is. Lastly, we will get to everybody's favorite segment, our very first and the original segment, which is those frigid ice up picks. JP, did you happen to bring one with you? I know, it's kind of short notice you coming on.
Yeah, I'm gonna give I'll give my ice up to Art Briles and the whole Baylor staff.
There you go.
Great call.
They had to stop this. This is a growing problem in, not only sports, not only football, but just today it's a growing problem. And for somebody to ignore a problem so that you can have guys like Sean Oakman on the field who clearly don't deserve to be on that field, you're disgusting, and you shouldn't be in this. You shouldn't be associated with our sport, because this sport's about good down-home people who like to watch people smack each other around,
Right.
with helmets on, and
it's
that's
men
not what
versus
we want in
men.
sport. And anybody who participates in that or domestic violence, you can get out of this sport too.
Yeah. And I think it's really a shame. The university as a whole should be ashamed of itself, not just the athletics or the football program. The entire university was aware of this, and they didn't take the necessary measures. They really were complicit in this. Great, Isa. Outstanding one. I really think that's fantastic. The guys he had on the team had already had other incidences at other universities, and despite that, he brought them on. And hey, I'm all for second chances. Lord knows I've had more than plenty of them. But, how about bringing them in, letting them sit a year, maybe even two, seeing, how they act before putting them on the team, letting them on the field, because they do represent your university. They do represent your program. And when something like this happens, it really does cast a dark shadow and put a black eye on a storied program like Baylor. What about you, T-Money? You have an ice up pick, brother?
I guess I'm going to have to give it to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Nice.
Oh, the choke job. Choke job.
3-1 lead, and you blow the Western Conference Finals. Now you're in a situation where you may be losing Durant because he's not happy. You can tell them at the end of that game 7, they're arguing with each other and bickering.
Come on to Charlotte. Come on to Charlotte, KD.
He's going to the Knicks.
I hope not. I don't understand that, with him and Melo. But anyway, Billy Donovan, man, first-year coach. He pretty much said it without saying it, that them two playing hero ball is what lost them that series. He said it a couple times, pretty much talking about if we would have been doing what we've been doing these past couple games and staying in our habits of moving the ball around, we would have been fine. Yeah, he's pretty much saying Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, y'all ball hog this series away. That's why I picked Oklahoma City Thunder.
Nice pick. Nice pick.
Yeah, I think so too. Good call there. Aaron Ford, what about you? Would you like to go, or do you want to close it out with yours?
I'll go ahead and go, and we'll leave it to the freaking Puerto Rican to close up shop. How about that?
Okay.
All right. But now this was a tough week for me because most weeks Ice Up Some picks take care of themselves. There's usually somebody out there that's just kind of that obvious choice, or plan B, plan C. There's plenty of options. This week, not so much. So I put it out there to the C3 world, the C3 family, the C3 girl gang, and I said, hey, help me out. Give me some ideas for my Ice Up Some pick tonight. And you know what? I got a lot of responses, and I got anywhere from the Pakistani government,
wow,
for encouraging their men to slap women around.
Wow.
Yeah, quite worthy of an Ice Up Sun pick. I also got recommended a cat for throwing up hairballs in Legacy Lynn's shoes.
Ew.
That was an Ice Up candidate that was suggested to me.
That's not a pleasant surprise.
That's not real pleasant. But even though that cat is well deserving because the cat went from just the middle of the floor, found her shoe, and decided to throw up a hairball in her shoe, that cat is well deserving. But I'm going to give the cat a break. The Ice Up Sun pick for me this week is a little bit more football focused, and that is one New York Jet quarterback to be Ryan Fitzpatrick. The man who is sitting there offered a contract of $24 million. Thaddeus, what could you do with $24 million out there in your beautiful hometown, right? I think it was $12 million signing, $12 million in the first year,
Right.
15 guaranteed. I'm sorry,
Right.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, you're a pretty good quarterback, but you ain't going to get better than that, my man. And there's
No,
rumors
sir.
out there that he says he's going to go play somewhere else, learn a different system, go somewhere else to play for less to make the point. Sometimes pride
Yep.
is the first sign of a fall.
Right. Ego.
Pride and ego in your life can lead to so many heartaches. I'm telling you.
That's right.
Like you haven't sucked most of your career besides 1 year.
Right, and not only that, but they said with incentives, they were going to be hard to get, but if he was to get them, you're talking $36 million, folks, over
So
3
he
years.
had
That's not shabby.
So he
That
has
is not-
upside, right?
Nobody's
Yeah,
going to offer him more money than that. He's
Nobody.
an idiot if he doesn't take
Nobody.
that.
Right. So Ryan Fitzpatrick, go back to where your teammates want you, the organization wants you. Swallow your pride. You're not getting Cam Newton money. You're not getting who's the guy that just got the big money that shouldn't have down in Houston? I'm drawing a blank real quick. The Denver.
Brockermeyer.
He's not getting
What's his
Brockermeyer
name?
money. He's not getting Brockermeyer money. I'm sorry.
Osweiler, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Osweiler,
He's not.
Brock Osweiler. He's not getting
Yeah.
that money. But you know what? You signed that contract. You, your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren will never go hungry a night of their life. Sign the contract, get pride out of your way, and ice up, son. That's all I got to say.
Quick side note, didn't he go to like Princeton or Harvard or something like that?
He's
Harvard.
Harvard grad.
Yeah, so you know he's a smart guy. He's gonna be smart with his money. It's not like he's gonna go blow it, so he needs to take it while it's right there.
Yeah.
He's not being smart by holding out this long.
Right on.
Ice up.
Ice
Right,
up.
Fitzpatrick. Yes, ice up, son. My ice up pick this week makes me sick with the outright disrespect he's shown fans and the organization he worked for last
But
season.
hey, he's having fun in Paris, so cut him a break. Sorry, Professor.
NOLA.com says he responded to criticism from a Saints fan on Instagram by calling the Saints defense weak and saying he took his millions and ran with it.
Oh, Brandon.
Now, had he been an All-Pro and played extremely well, I could see him taking umbrage with the comment from the Saints fan. And he would have every right to say what he did. That was not the case, however. Browner absolutely sucked last season. I mean, he was awful. In fact, he should have given all that money back to the Saints for his poor play. Now, as to whether or not his statements about the team, about the Saints, are true, which is likely the case last season anyway, he showed a total lack of class and professionalism by making these remarks. Basically, he said, I stole $7.75 million from the Saints and then hightailed it back to Seattle. Well, I wish the Seahawks the best of luck with this player that has proven to me to be a no good piece of trash.
Mm.
So to Brandon Browner, I say to you, ice up, son.
Ice up. Well done.
That's
Well
Yeah, I
I don't
think
know.
that's
Personally,
really, that's just, you're classless in my opinion if you do something like that.
I
Basically
agree.
say, hey, I took this money knowing I was going to give my all. At no point did I try my hardest.
I think his main thing why he went there, he wanted to play with Keenan Lewis. I think him and Keenan Lewis was real close. And, Keenan, he only played, maybe 5 games last year?
Yeah, before he got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right.
personally, I think Brandon Browner was great for the Panthers last year.
He was an
He
MVP.
was great for it.
Yeah.
That game we should start to again next year.
Yeah, I hope he does start for Seattle next year. That'd be fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would.
You know who I thought was going to get it that nobody gave it to? Nobody gave it to the parents who let their kid fall in the gorilla pit.
You're right. They were definitely candidates.
Oh, no. I assumed that was going to be the easy one, but we could give a collective ice up to the person who didn't watch their kid as he crawled for probably an hour and a half away.
Right.
Absolutely.
4-year-old child. Come on.
Christina
Really?
out there, follower Christina, that was her nomination, was for parents that don't watch their kids. But Missy Russell helped me pull out my Fitzpatrick one
Good.
tonight.
It was a
There's
great
a lot of
ice hockey.
There's a lot of them out there, man. It's crazy. So
I figured that's where Joe was going, so I didn't use that one.
No, I read that about Browner today, and I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. Well, guys, it is 11:15. We've run over a bit. I want to thank you, T-Money, for coming on. JP, I really appreciate having you. T-Money, if you'll let them one more time, let people know where they can find your stuff and see your work.
All right, YouTube, Mr. T Money 1993. I know I've been slack. I'm gonna get back into the swing of things when training camp. I think I only probably made one real video the whole offseason, honestly. I know it. So training camp time, I'm gonna get back on. My grind, coming out with the videos. You can probably, if you listen to WFNZ in the morning, I'm on there a good bit of the time. You can catch
You'll hear them on there.
Page. Twitter, I'm always around T Muhammad 23. I'm always in a discussion with those guys from the TTC. We was arguing actually before I got on got in the podcast. So
Yeah, he's a great follow, people. If you don't follow Mr. T Money, you really should. You're doing yourself a disservice by not following him. And thanks again for coming on, T Money. We really do appreciate it. JP, let people know where they can read your stuff, and let them know if they want to converse with you about the Panthers or really football in general, where they can reach you at.
Absolutely. As always, you guys can find me on C3's website. I have a few articles I'm working on now. I got one about offensive key battles in camp. I'm gonna have the major key Kieris Garrett article, the Rockhead article, and I'm gonna throw one out there on Kelvin Benjamin. Just because I have a little bit of background in training for strength and conditioning, so I know what it's like to train people to come back from an ACL injury. So I'm going to put something out there that maybe can get some people to breathe a little easier. And just follow me on Twitter, JP_TRE18. I'm always looking for a debate, some ideas on articles. If you got some players you want highlighted, I am the guy to do it. So follow me and hit me up on there. I'm always willing to talk football, 24/7 as I'm watching more film.
And again, folks, this guy is a machine when it comes to football and football information.
I'll tell you what.
He knows it all. He's
Yeah, I'll tell you, Panther Nation, if you're not following JP and you're not following Team Money, ice up, son. Both
there
great
you go.
followers. You need to get out
Tell
there.
it like it is. Tell it like it is, Mel. And this is Aaron Ford, our resident best in the West partner in this whole thing. Let them know where they can find you at, if you would, please.
Yeah, you can catch me on Twitter at Panthers Drafter. You can catch me anytime. You can catch me out on Facebook, all that good stuff. But hey, we're just fans having a good time, enjoying the Panthers, and keeping the conversation going. That's what we do. So the best place to catch me is every single Tuesday night at Cat Chronicles on YouTube. Go out there and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Leave some comments. Be a part of the conversation. That's what we're all about. No other show anywhere is every single week about the Panthers like we are. So that's the best place to catch us.
Yeah, he's absolutely right, folks. We do this podcast every week. I think of only 1 week, perhaps, where we've not done it in the last couple of years. We enjoy it. We're Panther fans, and we want to share our thoughts with Panther fans. But at the same time, we want to hear what you guys have to say. So please, leave tweets, reach out to us. Our website is carolinacatchronicles.com. Check it out. We have all types of interesting stuff for you. I am the freaking Puerto Rican, and this has been the C3 podcast, subbing for our normal host, the Professor Anthony Dunn, who is having a wonderful time in Paris, I'm sure.
Hey, let me give a real quick props to you, my man. Playing through pneumonia, leading the way. You are the man. Props to you. Great job.
I appreciate it, and we will be here next week. It'll be Aaron and I again. We'll probably have another guest, maybe 2, again next week. So be sure to tune in, and we thank you for your support, and we look forward to having a fantastic season this year with the Carolina Panthers. Everyone take care. God bless.
All right. Good night.